Hey everyone, happy Monday. James Azar here with CyberHub Engage. I hope you folks are doing okay, recovering from this weekend. The news makes you a bit more anxious than you'd like to be. Unfortunately, that's the cycle we live in today. All over the week, this entire weekend I've spent time speaking with friends from all over the globe and just kind of seeing how they're doing and everything else that's going on. And I'm proud to say that people are holding up and we're dealing with this the best that we can. And in that process, there's a lot of different things that are going on, including cyber criminals out there taking advantage of this situation. We'll get into those stories here in just a second, as well as some government initiatives that have some privacy concerns. Obviously, in this period of time, privacy has taken center stage in this epidemic as to how governments are looking to get information on people, and is there a sunset clause to that, and so many other things. So let's get into it. Today's Monday, March 23rd, and here are our headlines. Finastra is hit by ransomware. Military secrets were exposed by a UK printing company. The Netwalker ransomware is infecting users through a coronavirus phishing attack. And Israel's government's new Shield or Magen app tracks your coronavirus exposure. And now for your daily cyber briefing, brought to you by our friends over at CyberHub USA. Go to cyberhubusa.co for more information. And now let's go where Finastra, a London-based company that provides financial software and adjacent services to the world's banking sector, has disclosed a security incident on Friday. In a statement posted on its website, the fintech giant said it was infected with a ransomware strain. The UK company said it discovered the intrusion into its system after staff detected what they described as a potentially anomalous activity. Out of an abundance of caution, we immediately acted to take a number of our servers offline while we continue to investigate, Tom Kilroy, the company's chief operating officer, said in a public statement. Notifications were also sent to the company's customers and employees who were directly impacted by the server shutdowns and calls with customers. The company promised to have all impacted servers up and running by Monday morning. Once the security breach became public on Friday, security researchers were quick to point out that Finastra's less than stellar security posture. According to threat intel firm Bad Packets, it said that internet-wide scans had discovered last year that the fintech company had run unpatched servers for a very long time, leaving its systems exposed to attacks. According to Bad Packets, Finastra also ran outdated Pulse Secure VPN servers and also ran an outdated Citrix servers earlier this year. Both servers technologies have been plagued by severe vulnerabilities that were mass exploits by hackers for the past several months, including by several ransomware gangs as well as state-sponsored groups. At the time that we're talking about this story, Finastra has declined to share details about what happened in its systems, citing an ongoing investigation. Shout out to the team over at Finastra working to deal with this incident. Obviously, they are elbows deep in dealing with this, and we hope they recover quickly. To another story where security researchers have warned that as many as 100,000 customers of a UK-based printing company, including military organizations, may have had sensitive personal and business documents exposed in another cloud leak. Our friends over at VPN Mentor found a misconfigured AWS S3 bucket on January 22nd. They quickly discovered its owner was Docs Zoo, a British document printing and binding company with global clients. However, despite boasting multiple ISO accreditations on its website, including Information Security Standard ISO 27001, the firm never responded to VPN's Mentor's outreach and only closed the leak around 20 days later when security researchers reached out directly to AWS. The 343 gigabyte database itself contained over 270,000 records from a range of clients, including complete scripts and screenplays, full-length books, sought-after paid wellness plans, and internal military handbooks. They also got requests from private individuals who ordered family scrapbooks complete with pictures of the kids, bachelorette souvenirs with potentially compromising photos of the bride-to-be, and more, according to VPN Mentor. Affected customers came from the UK, US, Nigeria, Nigeria, India, Sri Lanka, and potentially other places. The data leak could have led to identity theft of individual customers whose personal information was exposed, or potentially more serious compromise of military security protocols. There are also potential copyright issues if the hackers had decided to upload the work they found in the trove to a sharing site. Alongside full-length book and screenplays, the VPN mentor claimed to have found scripts of one of the world's top TV series. So obviously, the cloud remains a very, very big vector of attack for a lot of people, and we are bound to see more of this go on now with this epidemic as more and more businesses speed up their transition to the cloud, with remote employees from all over the globe now working directly from home. Well done, a VPN mentor. These guys are always out there scanning, finding. I wish companies would take their advice and just, you get a message, reply to it right away, get in contact with these guys. They're not out to shame you. They're really out to help you. That's what they do. Our third story of the day goes as follows. If people didn't have enough to worry about, obviously with everything going on, the coronavirus phishing emails are now installing ransomware, as we've been reporting since this pandemic has started. While we do not have access to the actual phishing emails being sent, the malware hunter team was able to find an attachment used in a new coronavirus phishing campaign that installs the Netwalker ransomware. Netwalker is a ransomware formerly called as Melito that has become active recently as it targets the enterprise and government agencies. Two widely reported attacks related to the Netwalker are the ones on the Toll Group and the Champaign Urban Public Health District in Illinois. The new Netwalker phishing campaign is using an attachment named Coronavirus COVID-19, and the file is a Victor Bravo Sam VBS that contains an embedded Netwalker ransomware executable and executed code to extract and launch it on the computer. Once executed, the ransomware will encrypt the files on the computer and append a random extension to encrypted file names of particular interest. The head of Sentinel Labs, Vitaly Kremis, says that this version of the ransomware specifically avoids terminating the Fortinet endpoint protection client. When asked why it would do that, Kremis stated that it may be to avoid detection altogether. I suppose it might be because they have already disabled the antivirus functionality directly from the customer admin panel. However, they do not want to trip an alarm by terminating the clients, Kremis has said. When done, victims will find a ransomware node, extension.readme.txt, that contains instructions on how to access the ransomware's Tor payment site to pay the ransom demand. Unfortunately, at this time, there's no known weakness in the ransomware that would allow victims to decrypt their files for free. Instead, victims will need to either restore from backups or recreate the missing files. Due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, threat actors have actively started using the outbreak as a theme for their phishing campaigns and malware. This is obviously something we've been reporting on and seeing quite frequently. Again, as a tip to everyone out there, news is starting to get a bit out of control. There's a lot of misinformation out there about different cures, different things that are going on, or different regions of the world that are getting harder hit than others. It's important that internally within our businesses and within our family that we kind of control the message. Not communicating through email, letting people know that I would never send you an email, that no one in the company should send an email, issuing that policy of no one in the company should send an email about this virus outside of maybe one person, is a great way to reduce this risk. Having a CDR product to at least scan your attachments if you don't have one already would be another great way to stop this pandemic from spreading, and taking advantage of people who are eagerly looking for information, and these cyber criminals are using it to their advantage to infect your organizations. And now to our final story of the day. This one has a lot to do with privacy. The Israeli Ministry of Health has released a new mobile app called the Shield, or Magen in Hebrew, that will alert users if they have been at a location in Israel at the same time as a known coronavirus patient. The app, available for both Android and iOS, works by collecting the GPS and SSID Wi-Fi network information of a user's mobile device throughout the day. This data is saved only on the mobile device and is not transmitted to the Ministry of Health or other government agencies or any organizations. When interviewing new coronavirus patients, the Ministry of Health will ask for the location that they visited throughout the day. If the patient volunteers this information, then it is added to a JSON file that is downloaded by the app every hour, so it has the latest information. When using the app, it will compare your data to the data in the downloaded JSON file, and if the app detects that you were exposed to a known coronavirus patient, it will alert you with a message stating that a match was found. Matched users will then be prompted to report their exposure to the Ministry of Health using a link in the app. If you've not been exposed to any coronavirus patients, the app will alert you of this as well. Due to the nature, and this is really interesting, I'll kind of stick this on here. Due to the nature of the app, it's important to note that the app relies on known information about existing coronavirus patients. There may be some false positives. For example, doctors who know that no coronavirus patient was at a specific location can report these false positives, and it can be corrected in the data file. As many are carriers without any known symptoms, the best preventative measure against the virus is to perform self-isolation, social distancing, wash your hands frequently, and to work from home if possible. As this app requests a great deal of security permissions on Android and is tracking your location throughout the day, people are rightfully concerned about the privacy ramification of this app. To assure users that the collected data is only being stored locally, Israel's Ministry of Health has released a source code for the app on GitHub under the MIT license so that other countries can also utilize it as well to do it in their own nations. To ease concerns, a security review of the app was also conducted by the Israeli cybersecurity company Profero. In a telephone conversation, Profero CEO Omri Moyal was told that the company has reviewed the code for the app and has confirmed that no data is being transmitted from the device. Moyal has also said that GPS and collected data are saved internally on the device compared to locally on the app to the JSON file being updated by the Ministry of Health. If a user has been notified that they were in the same location as a known patient, the Ministry of Health is not automatically alerted, and it is up to the user to volunteer that they have potentially been exposed and are now in self-quarantine. This is further outlined in a post by Moyal and is included in an infograph. This infograph is in Hebrew. I'll put it up here for those of you guys who actually understand Hebrew. I can translate it, and I will do so on the comments of this video later on once we're done with this live broadcast. And so Moyal has emphasized that that the goal is to get Israeli users to install the app and stay protected. Israel's pretty much now in a full lockdown where people aren't even allowed to leave their homes unless they're going grocery shopping, to the pharmacist, or to seek medical attention. Everyone's required to stay inside, and very few people are allowed to go outside. And when you're going outside, you're not allowed to extend to a range beyond 2 kilometers from your home. And so they're trying to contain this. Obviously, there's a lot of privacy issues with this as well. And we've spoken about this last week. There's a ton of privacy situations that can go on with this. I'll probably have a privacy attorney on later on this week. Tomorrow on the podcast, we'll be doing a live with Michael Anaya from DEF CON. He's a former FBI agent, and we're going to be talking about some of the TTPs cyber criminals are going to be using. It's going to be broadcast here live at 10 a.m. Eastern time on LinkedIn. So you can tune in, ask questions. This is obviously an informal conversation, just really talking about the TTPs of what these hackers are doing and what some of these cyber criminals and how they're utilizing this epidemic and how you can defend yourself, obviously. And we'll be doing this all week. I'll have different guests on Wednesday and Thursday as well. On Thursday, I'll have Jordan, and I forgot Jordan's last name, and I apologize. He is a Wall Street economist. We'll be talking about how the stock market is reacting to this, what you can do to defend your funds, and how you should financially plan this on a personal and business level going forward. And on Wednesday, I'm still working on getting a privacy attorney on here to join me. So if you are a privacy attorney interested to join the podcast, please just send me a message here on LinkedIn through either our CyberHub Engage page or my personal page. We'd love to have you on. That's it for me here today. That's it for your daily cyber briefing. Thank you so much for watching us live. If you have any questions, comments, you can do so right here on the bottom of this video. Like I said, I will translate this infographic that you were just watching in Hebrew. Kind of left that on. I'm still trying to self-direct here, folks. For those actually listening on your favorite podcast listening platform, you can see everything we've got on our social media pages at CyberHub Engage. Until tomorrow, folks, where I'll be back with Michael and Aya to talk a little bit about TTPs. That's it for us here today, folks. Until tomorrow, I'll be back with more. Stay cyber safe.